Hey, let's preview this season for Oklahoma. It is time to leave no stone unturned. Not my words, Brent Venables' words. Well, those were at least his actions. Offensive coordinator, the offense was terrible last year. So you made the necessary moves. You get a new quarterback in John Mateer. You go get his offensive coordinator in Ben Arbuckle. So you addressed QB, you addressed OC, you addressed the running back room by getting Jaden Ott. You overhauled almost the entirety of the wide receiver room. Brent Venables has taken over play calling again. I'm counting on my hand over here. I ran out of fingers. So if they fail this year, they didn't fail without trying every possible method to resolve the issues there. In the national landscape, they got the 15th best odds to win the whole thing. They got the 9th best odds to win the SEC. Their over-under win total is 6.5. Again, this is FanDuel looking at you and saying, this is a really good team based on 15th best odds to win it all. Their over-under win total is 6.5. That makes no sense. It does if you look at their schedule, which is brutal. Biggest questions with this team. Not will there be an offensive turnaround. How drastic is the offensive turnaround? You know it's going to happen. You know they'll be better than they were last year. They cannot be worse than they were last year. John Mateer at quarterback is going to be one of the best players in this league, I believe. I believe instantly they hired one of the best offensive minds in this league, in Ben Arbuckle. The wide receiver room outside of Burks is like totally overhauled. They will be a lot better. I already mentioned Ott, but I'll mention him again at running back. They should be a really good offense. I didn't mention offensive line intentionally because that's my next question. Is that unit ready to step up here? I mean, they got huge churn last year coming into it. We were talking about how inexperienced they're going to be. I mean, we knew coming in, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We didn't know how tough. They played like a different rotation every week the first 3 quarters of the season, but they got a transfer offensive tackle in Simmons. They got 3 seniors in the middle, 71% of their starts return. They should be good enough. They got to be. It's not should be. They got to be good enough. And number 3 question here is, even if I'm right about how improved they are, let's just say for argument's sake I am, how much gas do they have in the tank? Because this schedule, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in a second, it's not just that it's tough, it's how backloaded it is. Now, that doesn't mean they don't play tough competition because they got Michigan in week 2, they got Auburn in week 4, but the back over half of this schedule, just listen to, you just rattle them off. Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, LSU. Most of that's away from Norman. There's no time to grab a breath. So you got to have enough gas in the tank. And what do we see every year? Every year we get to Halloween and there's some team ranked in the top 10 and then they finish the season unranked. Why is that? Because they had about 9 weeks of gas in the tank. But it's a 12-game season. And then you may go to Atlanta and you need more. Let me cut in really quick and ask, look, prayer hands, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you think you're subscribed, check and make sure. Over 50% of you aren't. It's free, it doesn't sign you up for anything, and it helps us keep the show free, college football year-round, the way God intended it. All right, back to the clip. That's what I'm looking at with them. Best position group here is defensive line. Dominic Williams, Jaden Jackson, they're back. David Stone, I think, is the key there. They got really, really good, talented guys stacked up. Grayson Halton, solid. They've got good players here. This should be one of the best units in the conference. It should help them to take over games. They should be able to do that. They should be able to affect the passer. They should be able to stop the run. There's a lot of should here, obviously. Should. The breakout player I got, though, is the same one I had last year, Deion Burks. That wide receiver transfer from Purdue. I had him as my breakout last year. He got hurt. I still have him as my breakout this year. Just take everything I said a year ago, copy and paste. If he's healthy, he is a star in this league. I have no doubt whatsoever about that. The schedule, I've got no doubt about either. Affirmative. It's tough. We got it rated as the 2nd toughest schedule in the country, just behind Florida. So, of course, it's also the 2nd toughest schedule in the league. They play 9 teams that have top 25 odds to win the national title. 9. Somehow they go to Temple. They have a road game at Temple. I don't know. Don't ask me. So with that in mind, what do we project here? The model we use to project the wins and losses and what's most likely. Okay, so the best case according to the model is 10-2. There's no team that's going undefeated against that schedule. Probably some NFL teams would struggle. It's a joke. Don't clip that. It's a joke. So 10-2 best case. Worst case is 4-8. If you're bad with this lineup, you're going to be really, really bad. You're going to struggle to find wins. So 4-8 would be the worst case. The model has OU's most likely record at 7-5, which would still be over for the win total, by the way. I'm higher on them than that, but you got to understand, you got to take into account the strength of the schedule as well as the caliber of the team. I think they're going to be better than 7-5. The model says 7-5. So when I do my predictions later in August, it may sound different, but 7-5 is the most likely. And if, by the way, if the model is right, what does that mean for Brent Venables? That's why we play the games.